Good in yourself, my brother.
Yeah, good. So it looks like it's just you and me today.
Yeah, Dave could not make it, unfortunately.
Yeah, you'll be back next week, and we may be joined by Dana. If Dana can get on, we're not too sure yet, but it's all good. You got Dan and Drew for the next 45 minutes. So please just tell us, where are you in the country? Are you Joburg based, Pretoria based? Are you in Bloemfontein? Let us know where you are in the country and what are you trying to achieve in property. And if you know of anyone that's interested in property, just tag them in now. Let them know that this coffee chat is happening. This is an opportunity for you to ask any questions to us about property, financing. If we don't know the answer, we will find out. But tell us more about you. Where are you? What you're trying to achieve? I mean, Dan, we've only got a few weeks left of the year if you think about it.
Jeez, can you imagine how fast time flies? We were talking with Sim and the rest. It's month end.
Yeah.
Crazy, eh?
And then it's just November.
Yeah.
And then December comes. So, Dan, what are your plans between now and the end of the year? What are you trying to achieve?
I'm trying to close a couple of deals and work on my plan for the next year. What does that look like? What does my portfolio look like? What I'm trying to achieve or to do in my portfolio. Hey, that's super cool. And yourself, what are your plans for the rest of the year?
Yeah, there's quite a lot, eh?
Yeah.
I'm trying to close off small things like the dev course, the financial literacy course with you. And same thing, we actually got a site meeting tomorrow at 3 o'clock for 3 hours with an architect. There's a property is about to take transfer in Edenvale to guest house. We're going to buy it, we're going to chop this thing up, we're putting Airbnb units in, conference facility. It's going to become the home for Sappin. It's going to become our own office, Dan.
Jesus,
we won't have to come to my study every day.
It's going to be super cool. I'm actually looking forward to that deal. It's such a creative deal. You've got a couple of people working with you on it.
Yeah, no, it's going to be great, eh? I think tomorrow Henry's going to be there, the architects, you're going to be there. You're bringing Sappin Youth in as well, aren't you?
Yes, they're project managing this whole project. It's actually their first project, and renovations and conversions cost above 400,000 rand. So they're super nervous, but they're having Mark Berman coach them and walk them through that whole process. So that's going to be awesome. Huh?
So keep an eye on that, and we'll definitely be posting videos, and we'll be going through a lot of technicalities. We're going to do full rebrand, new websites, and it's going to be it's going to just have all different income streams. That's the goal. Is how many different income streams can we create from one piece of property? It's going to be super exciting. So 2 things. Dan, could you quickly take the team through, or can you take our audience through what events are coming up?
Awesome. Yes, give me a second. There we go. So it's actually really cool, Andrew. We are starting our road trip and road show across the different cities in South Africa. So we are starting next week on the 19th of October. We're coming down to Bloemfontein on the Wednesday. We are having 3 separate events. So in the morning, we are having a breakfast with our investors and people that are investing in Bloemfontein. So if you are out there, it would be awesome if you can join us. After that, we are having the Investor of the Year judging at the Absa Bank offices around lunchtime, still on the 19th of October. So if you have done a deal, or if you know of anyone that has done a deal in Bloemfontein, it would be awesome for them to enter their deal. Hey? So I will post the support email address just in a second. I am going to post it. If you are in Bloem, you have done a deal in Bloem, it will be awesome for you to enter the Investor of the Year. And then we cap off our Bloem visit with a networking event. Again, I will post a link in the comment section right away for all the people that are in Bloemfontein to join us, and it is going to be awesome. So that's starting it off. And then after Bloemfontein, on the 22nd of October, the team in Cape Town, so Dave and his awesome team are having a breakfast session for all the investors in Cape Town to meet, to network, to find out your challenges and find ways to help you out. So if you are in Cape Town on the 22nd, we are having a breakfast from 9 o'clock. And then for all the professional members, we are having the monthly masterminds, professional and Sappin Youth members, where we do jump on once every month, set new goals, review the previous goals, see what worked, what did not, and find out how to help you out again. And then, geez, so many events, which is nice and busy. We are coming to Pietermaritzburg on the 26th of October for a networking event. It is going to be awesome. And we're not only stopping there, we are coming down to Durban as well on the 27th of October for the networking event as well.
And that's a cool one, Dan, because there we'll be running the event at the South Africa showroom, just like we did here in Johannesburg and Greenstone. We actually ran a networking event at the South Africa store. It was amazing. And Belito's store is also fairly new. It's only been there for a few years, I believe. And so we'll be running the event from South Africa. So make sure you come. We'll be inviting all our partners, TAP business partners, Absa Bank, Uber Home Loans. All our partners will be there on the night. So if you are in the Durban area, make sure you come see us in Pietermaritzburg and in Durban. Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. So I am posting the link in the comment section down below, so you can find all the events that we are having. And if you are interested in any of the events and you are having troubles booking, make sure you email support. I'm just going to show that there. So support at the sapropertynetwork.com. It is going to be good, but I'm super excited for the Investor of the Year, Andrew.
Yeah.
There's actually a video. I'm going to type play right now. Let's see if it comes up.
Let's see if we can do that.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the South African Property Investors Network Investor of the Year Awards. Ladies and gentlemen, the Investor of the Year Award is Darren Francis.
Starting out with the South African Property Investors Network has been absolutely amazing from day one. And for me, tonight is a testament. I am from Tafelsig and I am the Investor of the Year.
Andrew Walker here, the CEO of Square Feet, South Africa's largest property ecosystem. And what I'd like to do is share with you some of the big highlights of 2021 and more importantly and more excitingly, what is coming up in 2022. My number one highlight in 2021 is we've now formalized South Africa's largest property ecosystem, and despite COVID, we still grew by 26%. We still delivered on 186 events, being both a hybrid of virtual and live events.
And I just want to make a bit of a point, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody in the audience looks absolutely phenomenal.
My name is Tiran Ramnandal and I'm the winner of the most growth category.
My name is Nomakos Makolota, owner of Sisana Heights.
Hi everyone, I'm Ridwan Pasa, winner of the Investor of the Year 2021's Innovative category.
Thank you very much. I would just like to utter my vote of thanks.
People like Andrew Walker, Dave, and the rest of the Sappen network team. It's absolutely amazing.
And we would not be here today if it was not for our partners and our sponsors. So a massive thank you to Absa Home Loans, Private Property, TAP, Uber Home Loans, Tel Africa, Bruno Samau Attorneys, Intergen, the Property Academy and Preferential. A massive thank you from myself and my team, and I hope to see you all in 2022.
Awesome. There we go. Investor of the Year 2021. And ladies and gents, Investor of the Year 2023 is going to be bigger and better. It's going to be taking place in August of next year. Now, the cool thing about this are all the changes we're making for the next competition, which will be basically the big thing here, Dan, is that we are adding a lot more categories. We're adding more categories to Investor of the Year. So last year there was the beginner category. There was most growth category. There was big leagues category. There were about 5 different categories, whereas this year we've actually got 10 categories. The new additions we've got is there's Sappen Youth. So for all the youngsters out there, we're looking for your deals or your businesses. Sappen Women. So within the Sappen environment, we have started Sappen Women, which has exploded, which is amazing. There's a green category, Dan, all about energy efficiency. You know, what are you doing about going off the grid? What are investors and the big boys doing in South Africa right now with regards to going green. So as you can see at the top, there's 5 main categories: beginner, intermediate, big leagues, youth, and green. You'll be entering one of those 5 different categories, and as you enter one of the 5 different categories, we will then automatically put you into one of the subcategories: social change, most innovative, Sapper woman, a town deal, or in a city. And the first judging is taking place in 2 weeks' time in Bloemfontein. So if you haven't done a deal, but you know of someone that has done a deal, please let them know about Investor of the Year. Get them to enter, because most people are shy, they're nervous, they don't quite know if they should enter or not. Everything will be on our website this week, so you will be able to go to investoroftheyear.co.za, and you can get all the information from there. We're busy updating it as we speak, but Dan, I'm just so excited. We're going to be launching this thing in the next few weeks.
100%. And like Andrew said, we are coming to all the major cities, right? And they will be judging around every single event we have. So if you do know someone that has done a deal, just nominate them, and it's going to be good fun. I literally can't wait.
Yeah, definitely. And as I said, we will share the information with you. Now, before, I wanted to ask Dan a few questions about a deal that he just had accepted. It's a multi-let here in Primrose. But just before we do, again, let us know, where are you in the country? If you've got any questions for myself or Dan, what are you trying to achieve? What's your biggest challenge? Is your biggest challenge raising finance for deals, or is it actually finding the right deal in this marketplace? And also, it's a very good time now, Dan, in terms of what should we as investors be doing, because interest rates going up, and they'll go up even more, won't they?
100%, Joe.
Is now the time to invest? Who believes now is the time to invest, or should we all be putting our feet on the brakes? What do you guys think? Craig, what do you think? Should we be investing right now or not? Give us your opinion, because when you see what's happening in Germany and America and England, some scary stuff coming up.
I was going to say, it's extremely scary what is happening worldwide, huh?
Definitely. Okay, Yako says it's still the time to invest. That's what investor Craig Parker says, invest now. Absolutely. We've got quite a few people, because people always ask me the question, when's the best time to invest? When is the best time to invest? Is it before recession, during recession, after recession? I believe, Dan, that as long as you know what you're getting yourself into, as long as the cash flow is going to be strong, we mitigate the risk, there is no best time to invest.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm sure Craig and Jaco will also agree that, like you said, if you know what you're doing, make sure that you've got measures in place. In case things do go wrong, make sure, like we've had countless conversations around interest rates, make sure you stress testing your deals. You explore as many creative ways to optimize the value, the cash flow from your property, whether that's increasing rents. Again, make sure that you understand the market. Are you charging the rents that you're supposed to be charging to tenants? Can you add more value to charge a bit more rent? And just make sure you're constantly on the ball, looking for creative ways to finance, not only finance, but creative ways to keep your deals making money. And it's going to be awesome, huh? And yeah, so Jaco did say, agreed, stress testing is extremely important. So it is interesting. It's awesome to see that there are a couple of people that are constantly buying properties in South Africa and constantly investing. And the good news is, I got an offer accepted, which I'm super excited about in Primrose. 1,000 square meters. There's so much potential. So the whole idea around that is to do a multi-let or self-containing units around the property, adding as much value as possible. And the good thing is, it is below market value.
Oh, great.
I think 400,000 rand below market value.
That's good, eh?
Yeah, so much value. I can't wait.
Is the property laid out perfectly for multi? The cottages, did you say? Or
yeah. So it's perfectly laid out for a multi-let, because there's a huge cottage currently on the property, and then there's storage units which are massive as well. So there's 2 storage units, so another opportunity. So in the property, the whole idea went with the builder is to try and get at least 4 self-containing units in the property, and then there's the cottages as well. So that's massive, hey? And looking to charge around 4,000 rand, if lucky, 3,500 rand per unit.
And how many units you got?
And so about 7, yeah.
Okay, geez. But I'll tell you, just before we get into the details of that, why was the seller selling, and how did you get it 400,000 rand below market value?
So it's actually on Property 24.
Okay.
I won't share the listing for all you wolves, but yeah, on Property 24, and they bought a second property. So that property was used for their daughter while she was at university. So now the daughter's no longer using it. Half done kitchen and yeah, the normal. So it's crazy.
Okay, no, cool, man. That's lekker. And Dan, did you know about have you all heard about the new multi-let lease pack? The multi-let lease pack from TPN. If you don't, we will be getting TPN on board and Boonzaier team on board as well to talk about the multi-let lease. So not a single lease, multi-let lease. Have you all heard of it? If not, we will be sharing it with you shortly. I'm going to see you. And by the way, we will be joined by Ashley from Boonzaier attorneys. Will be joining us in a few minutes' time. So we'll see if we can get them on. So Dan, in your opinion, what do you see as the risks when you get into a multi-let?
Definitely a big one, I would say right now, is making sure your renovations costs do not go overboard, because we're getting quoted around 300, 400,000 rand to convert it to multi-let or to self-containing units in this case. The good thing is a big lesson I did learn personally was to make sure that you keep your consumptions really low and try to pass as much things legally as possible to the tenants. Things like water, electricity, try to get it prepaid. That's what from the top of my head, making sure that you do understand how to get your consumptions and everything down. I would say, Andrew. And your opinion?
Yeah, look, I think whether you're doing a buy-to-let or a multi-let, you always want your tenants to pay on time, don't you?
Yeah.
And you always want the tenants to look after your property. So those are two big risks. Are you paying me the rent, and are you looking after my property? So first thing is, how do you mitigate the rental part? You've got to use a company like Preferential as an example, who's going to vet the tenants properly, where you're going to get the rental guarantees and make sure that's step number one. Because if you get that right, everything else will follow. If you get that wrong, and you get the wrong type of tenants, and you see it all the time, fraud and false bank statements and false numbers. This is you may buy the best property in the best area, but if you don't get the right tenants into that property, your whole investment's going to go downhill. So that is where it all starts. Find the right tenant, and it's not always that easy.
Yeah.
But we've seen great success with Preferential and then maintenance. There's a lot of movement on multi-lets. People coming in and people going out. You've got to maintain the property. What about the gardens? Who's taking care of the gardens? Are you putting a caretaker in the property? How many tenants are you going to get? What kind of mix are you going to get, Daniel? Because you don't want to get 10 males and then one 18-year-old female.
Yeah.
Right? You've got to get your tenant mix right. What type of, are they South Africans? Are they Zimbabweans? Are they males? Are they females? So that's another risk, is you may get, let's just say, how many tenants can you get?
Seven-ish.
Yeah. So you may get 6 great tenants, and then Daniel moves in the 7th tenant, and it's the wrong type of tenant, and then there's theft on the property, and there's issues. And all of a sudden, Daniel's good tenants start leaving. That's a big risk, right? Would you agree?
Crazy. Jeez. Yeah, massive risk, and making sure that every single person is on board. It's going to be interesting, It's going to be interesting. An interesting journey now.
Yeah, I think, why don't we bring Ashley on board now, and we can ask Ashley a few questions around leases, and if you're an investor wanting to buy a property, what should be in a lease agreement? How's it, Ashley? Okay, let's check your audio here.
She's on mute, yeah.
Just make sure your little icon there. Okay, let's see. We can't hear you. We can see you talking.
One time you get her name right, we can't hear her.
So you'll see there should just be a little settings box where you can just click on it, and you can go to audio, and then you can just make sure that your audio input is correct. Okay, let's give Ashley a second, because Ashley can hear us. And in the meantime, I want to hear from Craig and Jaco and all of them. What do you think the biggest risk of getting into multi-let is? And if you have any experience to share with the rest of the audience, please share it now around multi-lets. Multi-let is a great way to get into the market and make a lot of money, but there's also risks involved. So let us know, Jaco, what do you think? Craig?
Awesome. Also, while we're still waiting for Ashley, do we want to go through events, Andrew?
Yeah, because I think people have just joined us now. There's quite a few people who joined us from YouTube and from Facebook, which is great. And if you have just joined, this is the Coffee Chat with Andrew and Daniel. Dave can't be with us today, but he will be back next week. And look, it's the 10th of October, Dan. We are now entering into the last few months of the year. And I say months, once November's gone, that's the end of the year. So what we've done is we've now arranged a roadshow where we're going to Bloemfontein, Durban, PE, Cape Town. So myself and Dan will be traveling around the country. Maybe give some details there, Dan.
Awesome. So as Andrew said, we are having a roadshow. So kicking off this roadshow, we are coming to Bloemfontein on the 19th of October, and we're having 3 different types of events. The first being a normal breakfast we're having with all the investors in and around the area to understand where everyone is on their journey, some of the challenges, and find ways to help them. So it's nice, it's small, it's more personalized, and it's geared around helping you on your journey. So after that, lunchtime, we are having the Investor of the Year judging in Absa Bank's offices, and it's going to be awesome. And think of Investor of the Year as a way to celebrate the investors with the largest impact in that country, depending on where they are on their journey. So whether you're a beginner, intermediate, you're doing big deals, developments. If you're a SAPN youth member or SAPN women member, you're doing things in the green category, it is going to be awesome. We are going to be judging. So if you know of anyone who has done a deal, make sure that you do ask them to join. After that judging session, we are closing it off with a networking event from 6:30. It's going to be an awesome networking event. I am going to post a link in the comment section just in a second now. So after that, we are having the team in Cape Town on the 22nd of October is having a breakfast from 9 o'clock. So Dave and Akashni and the entire team will be meeting. So all the investors that are currently in Cape Town, it will be awesome to join the team. Again, the whole structure of this is to network, find out what you are working on and how do we help you further. And for all the professional and SAPN youth members, we are having our monthly masterminds. Again, it is geared towards how was the past month, what did you do, and we're reviewing all the goals you did set, and then we're looking forward. What does the next couple of months look like? What are the goals you're going to be hitting? What are the challenges with professional members and coaching? And it's going to be perfect and awesome, hey, Andrew?
Yeah, no, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be a very busy time though, hey, Dan?
It's intense.
So make sure you don't miss out, because we've only got in my opinion, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 weeks left of the year. And there's still deals happening, money's being raised, deals are being done. And I want to see all of you in your respective cities and see what you're doing. So what have we got there? Craig says, never done it, only buy to let. I could be interested if I could get the right person to manage it for me. Absolutely, Craig, that's key, is getting the right person to manage a multi-let. Because yes, they can be great money spinners, but also the management is so key for that, Dan.
Extremely key, because that could be the difference in it being an amazing deal to a nightmare deal where you Jean-Paul and you're fighting tenants and getting some arrested and everything.
Exactly. So why don't we see if Ashley can come on live with us now? I know she's struggling with the audio, which is common. So let me just see if I can bring her on for a second. We'll see if she can come on with us.
Awesome. So she just needs to switch on her video and then she'll come on.
Cool. So Ash will turn the video on. Let me just watch her. Any other comments there, Dan?
So let's see what else is here.
Okay, so what does Jaco say there? For me, the biggest risk is zoning. Is correct. It's a good point, Jaco, because for people that do want to remortgage, especially.
Yeah.
They buy property, it's a raise one property that they then convert it. They even build cottages, Dan, but they don't change the rezoning. You're going to struggle to refinance, and you're going to struggle to sell that asset one day. So you've got to remember, always check with the town planner. So we use Saskia Cole. Saskia Cole is a town planner based here in Johannesburg, but also has contacts around the country. So if you do need to speak to a town planner about zoning rights and raise 1 to raise 2 to raise 3, when do you need to get consent to use as a guest house? When you need to get consent to use as a multi-let? When do you not need to rezone? When do you need to rezone? And in fact, it's an awesome interview with her and Mark Berman on the development course, isn't there?
Yeah. So it's super insightful. Hey? That's just such an amazing course. Takes you through the whole rezoning process. Like Andrew said, hey? However, it doesn't stop there. It takes you through further things you need to be cautious and aware of when you're in this industry, such a regulated industry. We definitely need to make sure, like Andrew said, if you are lending money from an angel investor, which is what I'm going to be doing, and we are going to be refinancing, making sure that the zoning is right when you are financing, it's going to be super key and important.
Yeah, so if we sum it up, we're talking about getting into multi-lets. What are some of the risks? Well, there's the zoning, number one, 100%. There's getting the wrong type of tenant. So you're not getting the right mix of tenants into a multi-let. And of course, then there's the general running of that property. Who's going to manage it for you? So just make sure that when you do get into multi-let, that you take all of that into consideration. And make sure that you all follow us, guys, because from tomorrow, I've got my first site meeting here in Edenvale. We're buying this old guest house. But the great thing about it, Dan, is that we're going to get multiple income streams. We're going to be renting out office space to local businesses. We've got 8 Airbnb units. We've got an industrial kitchen that we can either convert to a flat, Dan, or we could maybe rent it out to Sapin Youth or anyone wanting to use a kitchen. Then we're going to be setting up cleaning companies from this premises. So our goal there, Dan, is to get as many income streams as we can from one piece of property. How cool is that?
It's going to be amazing. And for those of you who weren't here when Andrew was talking about it, it is an old guest house, like you said. We're going to full refurb on it. And the good part is that the PM Pops, so a business that is with Sapin Youth, they are going to do their first project management, and they're project managing this whole thing from renovations, contractors, managing expectations, everything. So over 400,000, and so it's going to be a proud one for myself. Can't wait for it.
And it's going to be great lessons learned for the youth and stuff. We'll actually contact Mark as well.
Yeah, definitely, for sure.
So who thinks there's big opportunities with Airbnb? Let us know. Yako, are you doing Airbnb yet? Let us know who's doing Airbnb on here. Okay, but in the meantime, why don't we try bring Bruce on and see if he's got some advice for us from a legal standpoint.
Awesome. Let's see.
Okay, how's it, Bruce?
Good, thanks, and self.
Yeah, very good, thanks. Good to have you on.
It's always a pleasure to join. Sorry that I couldn't join earlier. I hear that things have just been a little bit crazy at the moment.
Yeah, no stress, no worries. I see Ashley's on. No, we still can't hear Ashley. It must be a setting on Ashley's computer. Shame.
Yeah, technology.
So Bruce, we were just talking around. Dan's busy getting himself into a multi-let property. We're talking about tenants and the importance of having the right lease agreement. So just in general, like from a landlord perspective, writing up a lease for tenants, what are some of the common things you've seen, or things that you've seen go wrong, or things that must be in a lease agreement? Just some of the high-level stuff.
Well, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I've seen almost everything and anything go wrong. But let me touch on my pet peeves. There's a clause that stipulates which address notices and legal documents must be delivered to. We call it the domicilium address.
Yeah.
Now, this happened. Normally, this clause is very important, and it actually allows for the effective suing of your tenant or evicting your tenant if need be. Now, what some estate agents or landlords do is they omit to complete the tenant's details on the lease agreement. Like, for instance, the TPN, they've got this wonderful section at the very front of the agreement. I think it's between 1.12 to 1.19 if bad memory serves. And when that's not completed, it makes it very difficult to collect. It makes it very difficult to serve legal processes. So that's a big one for me, because it increases the costs should you need to go with the legal route, which could have been saved just by having the foresight of filling that in. Something else that I feel that should be in every lease agreement is that if I'm going to sue you, you're going to be paying attorney and client costs or attorney and own client costs. This relieves the pressure from the landlord should he be successful in litigation. Something else, and now we're getting into a little bit of a gray area, but that is the incoming inspection and the outgoing inspections. While not part of the lease agreement, it's often an annexure to the lease agreement. Please, guys, let's have that at the back of the lease agreements, because 9 times out of 10, there's a dispute about the landlord or the tenant breaking something, and nobody can agree, and the facts are even murkier. So that annexure makes it a lot easier for everybody concerned. It keeps everybody on the short and honest and complying with the lease agreement. But
Definitely.
something I've seen quite often of late is that the information part of the lease agreement is not complete in full. Now, from a landlord's perspective, sorry guys, you want that complete because one of the details is the tenant's bank account. Now, here's the evil lawyer in me saying, hey, we can use that information. We can get a court order and attach a bank account to make this tenant's life difficult if he or she is squatting in the property. So with that sort of information, you can leverage it and encourage the tenant to vacate the property should he or she be squatting. So completing that information, it will actually save you. And if they start oohing and awing about it, red flag, guys, red flag.
Definitely. And they always talk about how if you do go to court, that the judge always takes the tenant's favor, is always in favor of the tenant. That's not entirely true, is it? Because, for example, is a tenant able to serve notice on a landlord? Could a tenant do anything to a landlord if the landlord's not carrying out maintenance or whatever the case is? What are the tenant's rights there?
Well, actually, that's a very interesting question. I've just had a matter where I'm assisting a tenant in that regard. Now, tenants actually have a number of rights. Some might say it's a little bit excessive, but I mean, we do also get slumlords. So, hey, there must be a balance in all things.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yes. So a tenant can actually demand that, and this is a very important one in Gauteng in particular. I'm drawing this from the regulations promulgated in the Rental Housing Act. For instance, the landlord must maintain the water installations, electrical installations, and sanitation installations. That's the landlord's job. The tenant must make sure that they do not cause blockages, right? Yeah. And the tenant must ensure that they comply with the lease agreement. They must ensure they don't damage the property. They must use it as intended, and so on. But to answer your questions briefly, is that a tenant can actually sue or do something in respect of the landlord. For instance, they could go to the Rental Housing Tribunal, Small Claims Court, Magistrates Court, or even Department of Health if need be. And this is again where those addresses are very important. And a favorite of mine is to make sure email addresses are included in there. Because, let's be honest, nobody gets anything by registered post these days. Email's quick, convenient, everybody tends to get their email. And hence that allows and facilitates the exchange of information. People are on the same page, so to speak, and they understand where things are coming from. So it tends to resolve disputes a lot quicker. And again, a tenant who tends to have issues putting down an email address or a cell phone number, I'd be very wary of.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah.
I had another question, but I forgot now, Dan. I do want to get you back on, Bruce, yourself or Bruno, actually next week or the week after, because I want to get you talking about the new multi-let lease that TPN has now got. It'll be awesome for you guys to go through that for our members and then give us some feedback on a multi-let lease. But maybe that we can do next week or the week after.
Actually, I look forward to that. Sounds lots of fun.
Yeah, definitely. Let's just see if there are any questions for you. In the meantime, this is Bruce from Bruner Attorneys, based out there in Sunny Hill, who do lots of our work for us and our members. If you have any questions for Bruce, please ask them now. I have put a link for SAP and Connect in the comments box if you do want to connect with Bruce to talk about whether it's evictions or leases or setting up a lease agreement, whatever the case might be, or you could be a tenant or a landlord. Feel free to reach out to Bruce at Bruner Attorneys. I mean, Dan, from your side, are there any questions or anything you have?
None that does come to mind. I think, Bruce did explain it quite well, understanding the importance of ingoing to outgoing inspections and how that plays a major role as well. That does definitely help when placing tenants, that the importance of having different lists. So I did learn a lot from this section home. Okay, awesome. Sounds good. Alrighty, so I think, Bruce, thanks for hopping on and giving us some great advice. It's always good to have you and Ashley on. And I'll speak to Bruno and get you guys back on maybe in a week or two, eh?
No problem. Looking forward to it.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Bruce.
Great. Thanks. Bye.
Okay.
Everybody,
cool. There we go, Dan. That is Bruce and Ashley. Poor Ashley couldn't get her audio working, but maybe next time.
And you got her name right.
Oh, no. What did I call her last time?
Like Alicia.
Oh, Alicia. Because Alicia does all the conveyancing for Bruno.
It's intense.
Big time. Yako says Saskia is a superstar. I agree 100%. She's very jacked at what she does out there. But no, I think that's the end of the coffee chat. Just remember, we'll be in Bloem next week, Bloemfontein. Next week already. Bloemfontein and then Durban month end. Make sure you go to the website, sapropertynetwork.com. Click on the events page. Go to the events page and you'll see all the events that are happening between now and the rest and the end of the year. Like I said, we are traveling across the country, starting in Bloem and then hitting Durban, then Cape Town, then Port Elizabeth. So we will be covering a lot of ground, and we personally, myself and Dan, want to see you at all the events. There'll be chill, casual breakfast events, and there'll be events at the South Africa showroom out there in Durban, as well as hotels. So we definitely want to see you all. But I think, Dan, from my side, that's it.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much to everyone that did tune in. Looking forward to seeing you all in all the respective cities. Looking forward to networking and adding value to each and every single one of you. And thank you so much. I'll see you guys later.
Awesome. Sounds good. See you all later, guys.